Hey guys! Okay, so my article is social studies teacher educators who do race work. So basically, it's about it's explaining teachers explaining how they incorporate race in their classroom. So it says social studies is the discipline who sets citizenship education in its main purpose. Okay, so therefore the instruction of race and racism naturally falls within the themes of discipline. So it says, teacher education is an important component of the American education system, and it needs to be considered in the examination of how race is treated within the curriculum and instruction. Okay. While there's a great need to discuss race and racism within teacher education, many teacher education programs are organized to have one standalone course on diversity. The single course seems like an add-on to the curriculum, and since it may be the only course devoted to socially constructed identities and inequalities, faculty are restricted by time to address a wide range of critical knowledge. Which kind of sucks in a way because, sorry, I probably should not have said sucks. Because with the way our world is now, our students are going to be introduced to so many different cultures and backgrounds. And I think it's important that they know like where their peers are coming from and about their background knowledge. And then that'll also get our students more, what's the word I'm looking for? Like culturally inclined, kind of. They will have that knowledge about where their peers are from and how they do things that in their ways and their parts of the world kind of thing. So I think it is important to discuss race. I mean, diversity is so common nowadays, it's kind of hard to not talk about racism and race in schools. Let's see. This article did a study and found out that where does it talk about? Sorry. The CRT, which is a theoretical foundation that guided the development of the study and the analysis of this data. So the CRT requires space for the stories and experiences of people of color to be heard and valued. Although CRT centers race as its primary focus, it is important that each individual is recognized by their multiple identities, including gender, sex orientation, and status that affects one's life. Okay. So that's kind of all it really talks about that, just the study of what this is. Okay, and then it gives some examples of how to use it in the classroom, so I'm just going to go ahead and read those because I thought they were really good. It says, like, it has actual teachers and what they would do. It says, Samantha usually begins her semester unpacking the Pledge of Allegiance in her elementary social studies methods course. Like, what it means, why we say it, who it could defranchise, what it means that so many children don't know what it means. It says, Samantha's students often talk about their experience in their internship, making comments like, well, when my elementary students say the pledge, 2/3 of them don't even say it, some don't even stand. It doesn't seem like a political statement, they just don't care. So that's a problem for in the United States. I think that we need to be citizens towards that. Like, that's our flag, this is our home. So I think saying the pledge in the classroom is very important, and that's where we start. That's where we come into play, and we make it important to the students to know why we say the pledge, what it means, and all that good stuff. It also says, another example is, Levi explained how he used current events that are important to students and discussed issues of race and racism in his method courses. So that's a great example of how we can talk about racism. You know, doing current events, like I said, there's diversity all around the world right now, so current events would be a perfect way for students to get that information and knowledge about. And then another example is to talk about like weekly journals, like you have them it says Roland uses racial moment scenarios with his students and has them write weekly journals, like how they would react to it, how they look at those people differently and how they can just, react to the moment. That's what it says, basically. So I thought those were really good examples of how we could use it in the classroom, and I definitely think that we should be incorporating some kind of race and racism components in our curriculum, because it is important, and that's like everyday situations that we have to deal with nowadays, and it needs to be handled professionally, I guess I would say. And it says right here, sorry, I was reading another note I had. It says, yet teachers are often unsure of how to incorporate race into social studies curriculum due to fear, lack of content knowledge, resistance, and a lack of self-efficiency. Social studies teachers' education programs need to make teaching about race a central component in their curriculum. So basically what I was just saying, like, it needs to be a part of our framework, and we need to incorporate it because that's what's going on with our world today, and our students need to be up to date, and so do we. As people, we need to be watching the news, we need to be reading the current events, and we need to stay up to date on that stuff, so we have that knowledge for our students in case there's ever a situation in your classroom where a white student didn't get along with a colored student. We need to know how to address that situation so we can resolve those conflicts even in our classroom that we might have. So it is important that we are knowledgeable about it too, so we know how to tell our students about it. Okay, I think I talked enough now, so I think that's all I have. Thank you, guys.